So, understanding the exaltation, debilitation of Rahu and Ketu. And a lot of things make sense from different branches of astrology. In Vedic astrology, Rahu is exalted in Taurus, Ketu is exalted in Scorpio. In Nadi astrology and some other southern variations of astrology, Rahu is exalted in Gemini, Ketu is exalted in Pisces. Okay. Or even like sometimes Sagittarius or Rahu is exalted in Virgo. But one thing I do see is that yes, why Rahu and Ketu, their exaltation point, the most vastly known is Taurus and Scorpio. The reason being, Taurus, the second house, which is naturally the head, has the 5 indriyas, the 5 senses. And what is the main job of the head to provide in your life? Is to show you the world around you through your 5 senses. Your eyes, sight, taste, smell, touch. And this is why we see that Rahu tends to gain its strength when it's looking at these 5 senses and making something out of it. Whether it's an artist, whether it's a scientist, a banker, an astrologer. While Ketu gets exalted in the 8th, Scorpio. Why? Because Ketu is dead. As soon as the head was severed, even though they became eternal, Ketu just landed on earth, on ground, and was given moksha. Because this is why Ketu, because it's cut, it shows that Ketu bowed in front of Vishnu. This is why Ketu is operating from the sense of hidden things. Scorpio, intuitive side, things which cannot be understood by this, because this, like for example, when you start using your head too much, you'll be like, okay, how is that astrology works? How can you tell me a device that can sense the electromagnetic waves of the planets and how they're hitting your body? Prove it to me now. Why? Because it's the senses. The brain wants to see something and calculate something, and the answer should always equal to this. Where Ketu, which is the controller of astrology, especially in Nadi, is saying that in order to understand this, give up this. Once you give up this, your 5 senses, your indriyas, now you're going to understand this other world. Because through logic, you will not be understanding this or devotion or tantra, nothing. This is why Ketu leads to moksha. Why? Because moksha is surrender. It's a complete surrender without using your senses of the indriyas. And only that's where God exists. Because Ketu bowed and gave itself onto the feet of Vishnu. So this is why we see why this Taurus and Scorpio axis works so beautifully, along with the others. But for me, it just makes the most sense. Okay. And this is why we see that why Rahu operates more from the material level and why Ketu operates more from a transcendental level. Because again, if you look at anybody, 99% of the people out there who are wanting money, who are wanting comfort, who are wanting luxury, and I'm one of them, you're one of them. How do we understand comfort and luxury and the riches in life? Through our eyes, through our taste, through our ears. Okay? Meaning, one of the most expensive places to go is the opera. Go and sitting with the elegant people. So what you hear, you're hearing that richness. When you're tasting something which is $5, although I will say myself, I'd rather have street food versus any other food. But then that eyes are saying, oh my God, this is a 3 Michelin star food. And here I'm about to taste it. So this is the only way you can feel that richness. You can see yourself in a private jet. You're sitting on a private jet. You're feeling that nice leather of the private jet. This is why is that material sense of Rahu. So this is the easiest way to kind of like understand. The thing is, if I was to talk about this Rahu, Ketu, Taurus, Scorpio, I can probably go for another hour, hour and a half. Like I wouldn't even know where the time went. But this is one of the easiest way to understand these things. Okay. So yeah, hopefully this has clarified the most basic concept of Rahu, Ketu, or one of their concept of exaltation. And although this is only exaltation I'm talking about, not the debilitation.